Back at it again. Greetings everyone. Today we're taking it a step further. Last time we scaled player. This time I'll scale someone you're all definitely familiar with. Enter the Destroyer of Worlds, Error. This guy is well known and loved by many, and today I'll be trying my hand at scaling this guy. So without further ado, let's begin. Well. Error SANS. Where do I begin? Alright, so let's start with his abilities. Just like SANS, Error retains some of his normal powers. For example, his bones and blasters, you know, the usual. Now for his new powers as Error, his blue magic was altered as a result of becoming an Error. Instead of the usual telekinesis, they've deteriorated into blue strings that pour out of his eyes. So unlike normal SANS who could telekinetically grab people, Error now has to use strings to physically cast your soul instead, which is a downgrade from his old powers considering... the strings can be destroyed. But despite that, Error still makes good use of his strings. For example, with the strings, he can even see through their eyes, and if it ever came down to it, he can pulverize his victims' souls with the strings. Overall, a really good ability. Only downside is that they're physical. Now imagine how busted that would be if his blue magic wasn't altered after becoming Error. Moving on, Error has the ability to hop between worlds. To understand this, you must understand what the anti-void is. Now, the anti-void is a space that exists outside of the multiverse, and by manipulating the anti-void's code, Error can open portals to anywhere. When I say anywhere, I mean anywhere. Because the anti-void exists outside of the multiverse, that means he can also travel to any other multiverse he wants. This includes any fandom. So if Error ever so felt like it, he could open a portal to Dragon Ball's universe and dap Goku up. Except he wouldn't because he has haplophobia. So, more on his transdimensional windows in the anti-void. He can create portals that link to the past, which is how he was able to see his first moments as Error after escaping the anti-void. These portals can either be one or double-sided, meaning Error can see one side of the portal, but you can't. Error also has the ability to examine one's code. Now, Error does have a power, one that lets him destroy universes without needing to enter them. The problem with bringing this up is the fact that he strictly chooses not to use it, so it's pointless to even bring it up. And with that, those are all of Error's powers. And so we move on to his durability, which is a special case. So you see, as an Error, he doesn't follow the rules of any universe. Because of this, hitting him will result in his HP fluctuating in every direction. So sometimes, an enemy can wind up healing Error when they intend to hurt him. There's also the fact that Error's HP is already constantly changing every second, so his durability is completely random. 1 second, he could be the most durable thing in every known multiverse, the next he could become literal glass. And even then, you'd have to hope you actually damage him when you strike at him. So in other words, trying to hurt Error is like going gambling.
Let's go gambling! Aw, dang it! Aw, dang it!
But that also means theoretically, if you're the luckiest man alive, you could one-tap Error. And now we move on to Error's overall power. With the fact that this guy can open rifts across time and space and destroy universes, you'd expect it to be really strong, right? Right? He's barely stronger than base Undertale SANS, who had a stat value of 1 attack and 1 defense. CQ mentions how there's some LV there, so considering how the formula for LV works, I'm gonna say level 20 would be the maximum, mainly to keep it consistent with him being barely stronger than SANS. So, SANS has a base stat of 1, every LV adds 2 attack, every 4 LV adds 1 defense, so at most, Error probably has 39 attack and 5 defense. So in terms of power, he really isn't that strong. It's how he fights that makes him dangerous. CQ compares him to a fire, uncontrollable, chaotic, and violent. He's all over the place, which makes him unpredictable. And now for the last bits, Error's weaknesses. He has quite a lot. For starters, Error has bad eyesight. This is made worse by his glitches. You see, sometimes they just appear at random, covering his vision, so it's like he goes blind. However, he can remedy this in 2 ways. Simply put on his glasses, or by using his strings, he can use the eyes of the person he's puppeteering to see through. Combined with his bad eyesight is his haplophobia. Another weakness of Error's is his mental state. As an Error, if he experiences extreme emotions, it could cause him to crash. During this time, all his stats drop to absolute 0, his durability is no longer random. Since his stats stop fluctuating, during this time, Error is completely vulnerable and can be killed in this state. There's also his weakness against his brother Papyrus. Whenever the topic of Papyrus comes up, Error gets uncomfortable. In fact, when it comes to killing Papyrus and destroying AUs, he always tries to find an alternative method without killing him directly. People often say Error's a fraud because he got bodied by Swap Papyrus. The reason he even got that far was because it was Papyrus he was fighting. Had it been anyone else, that fight might have turned out very differently. And finally, probably Error's biggest weakness of all, his pride. 2 instances of this are his secret power that he refuses to use, and the fact that this guy has a collection of human souls, yet he refuses to absorb any of them to make things harder on himself. Mind you, there is literally nothing stopping him from absorbing them. He literally just chooses not to. As a result, he stays away from AUs like Reaper Tail, targeting the weaker universes instead. In conclusion, if one knew Error's weaknesses, he would be very easy to defeat in battle. But for someone who doesn't, they're in for a rough time. Now to recap. And with that concludes Error. Maybe you learned something new today, or not, I don't know. If you want to add more or correct me, go for it. Now, I want to get one more video out. After that, I'll be going on a little bit of a hiatus to continue Clover vs. Kara. So in the meantime, stay tuned.